morning, PotCoins. Today is really hot and I didn't feel like wearing a tie. And it's also Sunday, 20 July 2014. We are currently on block 35, 57, 59 of the Pot chain. Here's what's been going on this week. The PotCoin team was at the American Glass Expo in Las Vegas this week. There, they handed out preloaded PotCoin cards and spread the word about PotCoin. The official report from the PotCoin site is that they made connections with business owners and potential investors. PotCoin Marketplace is now open. You can get your PotCoin t-shirts and preloaded cards from the official site. PotCoin drops below 30th place on Coin Market Cap. It's now trading between 15 and 16 microbits. Most people's first reaction is to blame multipools and dumpers. But this time I have a more optimistic prediction. I think people are actually using PotCoin more than ever. With more online merchants accepting PotCoin and great projects on PotFunder, I'm going to guess that PotCoins are being spent, and that the payment processors are the ones dumping in order for merchants to cash out into fiat. If that turns out to be the case, it's fairly good news. It would mean that PotCoin is catching on. The next step is to get PotCoin accepted at so many places that it will reduce the need to cash out into fiat. Once the PotCoin economy grows to the point that everyone, from employees to growers to glass blowers and the rest, are trading PotCoins between each other, the real value will skyrocket. Congress lets Pot have a bank account. This week, a bill passed the U.S. House of Representatives that will prevent the federal government from punishing banks for doing business with legal dispensaries. While it seems like progress, I'm still skeptical. Operation Choke Point is still going strong. Choke Point is a DOGE project that coerces banks to stop doing business with legal companies for political reasons. William M. Isaac, former chairman of the FDIC, said, "Operation Choke Point is one of the most dangerous programs I've experienced in my 45 years of service as a bank regulator, bank attorney and consultant, and bank board member. Operating without legal authority and guided by a political agenda, unelected officials at the DOJ are discouraging banks from providing basic banking services to lawful businesses simply because they don't like them. So just because it's against some new law for the government to prevent banks from doing legal business with dispensaries doesn't mean they won't prevent banks from doing business with dispensaries. Keep in mind that laws don't apply to the government. The government violates more laws than any individual ever could, even given multiple lifetimes. And they are not accountable for their actions. Hopefully, dispensaries will be able to get bank accounts. Just don't be surprised when those accounts get shut down anyway. Ironhammer5 from High on PotCoin said, "Cryptocurrency is attractive whether you're allowed a bank account or not. Giant retailers like Newegg aren't accepting Bitcoins because they aren't allowed a bank account." That's a good point. And since cryptocurrencies are the way of the future, I don't think the ability to get a bank account will turn anyone away from PotCoin. Ironhammer5 also mentions that this might make it easier to accept PotCoin. I agree. Even if a merchant uses a payment processor to accept PotCoin, they still need a bank account to convert it to fiat. And since we're still far off from independence from fiat, there is a need to convert to cover expenses. New York sucks. For anyone unfortunate enough to live there, I'm truly sorry, and I hope you can escape as soon as possible. New York has put out some proposals for the BIT license. Bruce Fenton said it best on Twitter. A person no one elected is creating laws no one asked for to prevent problems that don't exist. That person is Ben Lawsky. He is currently the Superintendent of Financial Services for New York, but that title will soon change to Worthless Leech Douchebag for New York. Lawsky said, "We have sought to strike an appropriate balance that helps protect consumers and root out illegal activity without stifling beneficial innovation." However, his proposal will do nothing for consumers. It will create illegal activities and kill any hopes for innovation, at least coming from New York. This proposal is open to public comment for 45 days. Everyone should recruit their best and worst trolls to spam those comments. Sorry, mid-grade or average trolls. This one isn't for you. Just stick to annoying your Facebook friends with stupid comments. There is one thing I found interesting in the proposal. Any company operating in cryptos needs to prove solvency and hold 100% reserves. I think this needs to get immediately applied to fiat banks and Wall Street. If it happened today, the dollar would collapse tomorrow, since none of the fiat traders have ever been solvent. Journalist Michael Krieger wrote, "New York can and should be punished by entrepreneurs for its statist policies." Dell is now the biggest company to accept Bitcoin. Michael Dell tweeted that customers can spend Bitcoins immediately, and Dell has partnered with Coinbase as their payment processor. They are currently offering discounts on Alienware brand hardware if bought with Bitcoin. The race is on for a bigger company to accept Bitcoin. Most hopeful consumers believe it will be Amazon.com. I would be more surprised if Amazon doesn't accept Bitcoins before the Christmas shopping season. I actually expect them to start accepting Bitcoin by the time school shopping season starts. There's no reason to wait for the patron saint of fourth quarter earnings to have his birthday. This week's business of the week is AltCoin Auctions. They are an eBay-type auction site that works in altcoins, and now PotCoin is an option. The site Canabay seems to be gone, but these guys at AltCoin Auctions have picked up the slack. They are using over 50 coins and will likely continue to add more. There isn't much on the site yet, but this site has the potential to bring multiple altcoin communities together, and as it grows, it might potentially give eBay some competition. Well, that's it for this edition of Mad PotCoins. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.